Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular board meeting for the Rainbow District School Board for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. I want to welcome folks that are in the audience with us tonight, as well as the folks that have joined us online in their streaming portion of the meeting. So we'll start tonight's meeting with our land acknowledgement. The Rainbow District School Board would like to acknowledge that we're on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Anishinaabeg, including the Tikamasheeg, Anishinaabeg, and Wahnapitae nations. We would like to acknowledge that we are situated within the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850, and we want to recognize the inherent rights of the Anishinaabeg that maintain these lands from time immemorial. We'll start tonight's meeting with the roll call. Director?
Trustee Dabowski.
Present.
Trustee Farrell.
Present.
Trustee Gibson.
Present.
Trustee Cosmerly.
Present.
Trustee McCauley.
Present.
Trustee Dewar.
Present.
Trustee Hunda.
Present.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
Present.
Trustee Clement.
Present.
Student Trustee Sear.
Present.
And Student Trustee Gannett.
Present.
Thank you, Director. And our first item of business tonight is approval of the agenda. So I'll need a mover and a seconder that the agenda for the the regular board meeting for December 9th be approved. And that's moved by Trustee McCauley and seconded by Trustee Cosmerly. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, we will call for the vote.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee Dabowski.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Sear.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
The motion's carried.
It was moved by McCauley, seconded by Corbett. Thank you, Director. Do we have any preliminary declarations of pecuniary interest this evening? Seeing none, thank you. Section C, presentations. We are not having a presentation tonight. We'll go on to Section D, reports from closed meeting of the board. There are no reports imminent, and that takes us to old business. So we have a couple of sets of minutes that need to be approved. First of all, I need a mover and a seconder that the minutes of the organizational board meeting held on Tuesday, November 18th be approved. That's moved by Trustee Hunda. And a seconder, please. Seconded by, I'm looking online, seconded by Trustee Corbier-Addison. Any questions, comments, or omissions from those minutes? Seeing none, we'll move to the vote, please, Director.
Trustee Clement. Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee Dabowski.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Sear.
In favor.
And Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
The motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Our second motion is the second set of minutes. We'll need a mover and a seconder that the minutes from the regular board meeting held on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 be approved. So who's that moved by? Moved by Trustee Dewar online and seconded by Trustee Clement. Any errors, omissions, or corrections that we need to make to those minutes? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. Director, go ahead, please.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee Dabowski.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Sear.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Next section of the agenda is reports and recommendation from board committees. We have audit committee tonight, and I'll turn the mic over to Superintendent Guilbeault, who will speak to us about the external audit plan, and there'll be a motion emanating out of his presentation. Trustee Guilbeault. Oh, sorry, Superintendent Guilbeault.
Thank you, Chair Farrell. So we do have a motion for your consideration this evening. Typically, you would have seen this motion on the agenda for the September board meeting, which we had on September 23rd of this year. But we weren't able to schedule our first audit committee meeting until after that meeting, which was on September 29th. The external audit has since taken place, so we are asking the Board of Trustees to approve this motion at this time. Please note that the motion to recommend the plan to the board for approval was carried at the September 29th audit committee meeting, and the presentation you will see this evening regarding the 2024-2025 financial statements will reflect that plan.
Thank you, Superintendent Gilbo. So we'll need a mover and a seconder that the 2024-2025 external audit plan be approved as recommended by the audit committee. That's moved by Trustee Hunda, seconded by Trustee Cosmerly. Any questions or comments to Superintendent Gilbo? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. Director, go ahead, please.
Trustee Colon.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee DeBusky.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Seer.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Next item of business is Audit Committee Annual Report, and I'll look to the Chair of the Audit Committee, Trustee Hunda, to say a few words on this. Trustee Hunda, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair Farrell. I want to draw everyone's attention to the Audit Committee's annual report every year at this time. We present this to you. I believe a copy's in it. I'm not going to, I don't believe that it's necessary for me to read through it. I think you all have it in your package and you've read through it. And I want to thank you all for the approval of the prior motion because it was unanimously passed through your Audit Committee. So if there's any questions at this time about the Audit Committee report, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, then we will go on to the final part of the presentation.
So any questions for Chair Hunda, the Audit Committee?
Okay, thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Trustee Hunda, and I wanted to just express on behalf of all trustees a big thank you for all the hard work that the Audit Committee has done in preparation of the reports tonight. So thank you very much, Trustee Hunda. Next item of business is the 2024-2025 financial statements, and we'll turn it over to Superintendent Gilbo to give us a report on that, and then we'll have a motion emanating out of that also. Thank you.
Thank you again, Chair Farrell. So at this time, I'm going to ask to turn it over to Derek D'Angelo, who can take the podium. Derek is our audit partner. He will be presenting the 2024-25 financial statements on behalf of KPMG, following which we are happy to take any questions, should you have any for Derek or for myself, and also Nancy Chiquetto, our Manager of Finance, is with us as well this evening. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Derek.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much for the opportunity to present the financial statements for the Rainbow District School Board for the year ended August 31st, 2025. As mentioned, the financial statements were reviewed by the Audit Committee on December 1st and were recommended to the board for approval. During the course of the presentation, I'll provide you with an overview of the relevant points and any significant changes from 2024. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me at any time. I'll do my best to answer, and if required, management will add their comments. So looking at the financial statements, if we could just look at the independent auditor's report. So looking at the first section of the independent auditor's report, that is the opinion paragraph. What this paragraph does is it identifies that the statements have been audited. It gives our opinion on the accompanying financial statements. And just like to say that we are prepared to give the board an unqualified or a clean audit opinion on its financial statements, which is the highest level of assurance that can be given under Canadian audit standards. The second section, or the basis for opinion section, indicates that an audit has been conducted in accordance with Canadian generally accepted auditing standards. The third section, or the emphasis of matter section, what this does is it describes the basis of accounting used and directs us to note 1 to the financial statements for the details of the financial reporting framework and the accounting policies being followed in preparing the financial statements. The fourth section, or the responsibilities of management and those charged with governance section, describes the responsibilities of management in the preparation of the financial statements, and also describes that management is responsible to develop and maintain a system of internal control which is necessary to ensure that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. And the final section, or the auditor's responsibility paragraph, describes that it is the auditor's responsibility to express an opinion on the financial statement based on the results of our audit, to ensure that the audit was conducted in accordance with Canadian generally accepted auditing standards, requiring us to comply with ethical requirements, to ensure that the audit was planned and performed to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, to obtain evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements, to use our professional judgment, including assessing risks, considering internal controls relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements. We're also required to evaluate the appropriateness of the accounting policies used and the reasonableness of the accounting estimates made by management. And finally, we evaluate the overall presentation of the financial statements. If we could turn to page 1, please, which is the consolidated statement of financial position. This statement details the financial position of the board at a point in time, being August 31st, 2025, with the comparative numbers for August 31st, 2024. It would include the cash resources of the board, the net debt position calculated as the difference between its financial assets and its financial liabilities, the non-financial assets such as prepaid expenses, tangible capital assets, and finally the accumulated surplus. We'll start with the financial assets. So at year end, the board had about $21.8 million of cash in the bank, which is down from $26.8 million in 2024. This change in cash balance is directly related to the results of operations for the year, the capital activities, as well as the activity in the accumulated surplus and reserves, which we'll review later on. Other investments are comprised of GICs, which are recorded at amortized cost. Accounts receivable other, this balance is mainly comprised of municipal tax receivables, HST recoverable from the Government of Canada, and amounts owing from Indigenous Services Canada for students funded through the Jordan's Principal program. Looking at the accounts receivable from the Government of Ontario, this is mainly comprised of two main pieces. One is capital funding, which has been approved by both the board and ministry, and is $35.9 million. And this is based on how grants are paid to school boards for capital and is directly related to capital construction. The second piece is the delayed operating grant. And starting in 2018-2019 fiscal year, the ministry introduced a cash management strategy whereby the ministry delays a portion of the grant payments to school boards based on a set calculation. The delayed grant payment, including the receivable from the ministry at August 31st, 2025, is $22 million. The final financial asset is the assets held for sale, and this amount of $436,000 relates to one property being held for sale at year end, being Chelmsford Public School. Looking at the financial liabilities, looking at temporary borrowings, in 2025, there were no short-term borrowings at August 31st, 2025. The $2.7 million in the prior year relates to interim financing for construction costs for school improvement projects, as there was a higher capital spending in the summer months of 2024. The ministry funds construction costs twice per year based on the actual expenses and also provides funding for interest. Accounts payable and accrued liabilities have decreased from $25 million to $16 million in 2025. The main reasons for this $9.3 million decrease are as follows. In 2024, there were some substantial payroll accruals relating to retro payments for collective agreement increases. This year, there was a decrease of trade payables by around $1.5 million, mainly due to lower capital spending during the summer of 2025. Net long-term liabilities, they went down as our semi-annual payments were made, reducing the debt by $2.6 million with the Ontario Financing Authority and RBC. The total long-term liabilities of $30.8 million are approved by the Ministry and the Board. Next, we'll look at deferred revenue, and if we could move to the top of page 17, please. Deferred revenue consists of amounts that are received by the board that are restricted for specific purposes in accordance with ministry guidelines. For special education, of the deferral of $4.9 million for special education, $2.1 million is allocated to be spent in 25-26 as per the approved plan. Pupil accommodation, this is a carryover amount at August 31st, which is to be used for planned projects in 25-26. Student achievement, this increase is due to decreased spending opportunities, and the balance is retained through reserves to be planned and utilized in the areas of Indigenous education, student mental health, and French as a second language. The assets held for sale, as previously mentioned, there was one school being held for sale, and again, we just have to move this into deferred revenue for the accounting treatment of it. Proceeds of disposition, there was an $18,000 decrease due to spending on the admin building, and the remainder is held from sale of 3 schools, which is to be utilized against spending for future school capital projects. And the other amount relates to amounts deferred from external parties or other provincial grants of $50,000 and international student tuition fees of $57,000. These funds are allocated and planned to be utilized in 25-26. If we can move back to page 1, please. The deferred capital contributions include grants and contributions received that are used for the acquisition or development of tangible capital assets. There was a decrease of $6.7 million this year, which is the net of the deferred capital contribution additions of $16.4 million, offset by the revenue recognized in the period of $23.1 million. Asset retirement obligations that note refers to the board's tangible capital assets. This obligation balance is slightly higher than 2024, as in 2024 there was a reduction with the 3 properties being sold, and in this year there was also a change in the inflation rate. The majority of the obligation value is due to the abatement of designated substances such as asbestos, and the remainder is due to the removal of fuel tanks and septic tanks. The employee future benefits liability, this note, which is quite lengthy when you look at it, details the board's long-term obligations for retirement benefits, which are the future cost in today's dollars of retirement gratuities and WSIB. These amounts are arrived at by actuaries. They use employee demographics and information about the board's benefit plans to arrive at the future obligation at August 31st, 2025. Accrued employee future benefit obligations decreased $466,000 in 2025 due to actuarial gains and benefits paid, offset by interest costs and current period benefit costs. Prepaid expenses, so about half of this total relates to the timing of payments for secondary teachers' wages. In 2025, the 2025-2026 secondary teachers' first pay was paid on August 29th as per the collective agreement, and therefore recorded as prepaid. And in 2024, the September consortium payment was made at the end of August, and that was around $1.6 million. That payment was made in September this year, and again, that's another reason for the decrease in prepaids this year. Tangible capital assets are the non-financial assets that are used to provide school services or for administrative purposes or for the maintenance or repair of other tangible capital assets. These additions totaled $16 million in 2025 and were offset by the amortization of $25 million and the asset retirement obligation revaluation of around $490,000. Therefore, the net decrease of $8.5 million decreased the net book value of tangible capital assets to $232 million. If we could turn to the next page, please. So the consolidated statement of operations and accumulated surplus provides information about the board's accountability for its operations and the related achievement of its objectives. The statement also reports the surplus or deficit from operations and measures the change in the board's accumulated surplus in the period. So the total revenues this year have decreased by $7.9 million, ending the year at $272.4 million. The net decrease is comprised mainly of the following. There was an increase in the core education funding of $3.8 million due to increased enrollment, plus benchmark increases of 2.7%. In 2024, there were $15.3 million of grants related to Bill 124 that were not received in 2025. There was a $2.1 million increase in the amortization of deferred capital contributions. There was a $605,000 increase in other fees and revenue, a $111,000 decrease in investment income, and then $864,000 increase in school fundraising. Looking at the expenses, they've also gone down by $6.2 million, ending the year at $271.9 million. This decrease is comprised of many different pieces. So instructional costs were down $9.2 million. $8.3 million of this related to wages and benefits. There was, again, we had the grants last year for Bill 124. We also had expenses related to Bill 124. That was $14.6 million in fiscal 2024. There was also a $2 million increase related to staffing increases, as I mentioned, with the enrollment going up. There was also some collective agreement and step increases, which amounted to approximately $4.3 million. There was a decrease of $495,000 in instructional supplies and services, and about $148,000 in lower amortization expense. Administration expenses went up approximately $843,000. Part of the increase was related to the costs for the cyber incident, which are being recovered through an insurance claim. $100,000 increase in administration software, $182,000 increase in legal fees. There was a net increase in salaries and benefits of around $43,000, which is the salary increases less any Bill 124 retro payments. There was an increase in transportation expenses of $552,000. Pupil accommodation went up $3.3 million. $2.3 million of this increase relates to an increase in the amortization of tangible capital assets. There was an increase in snow removal costs of approximately $890,000 and approximately $395,000 increase in maintenance supplies. School-generated fund expenditures went up $650,000. There were more fundraising activities as evidenced by the increase in revenue, and the expenses went up in a similar amount. And finally, the other expenses, they were down around $2.4 million. Last year's expenses included the Bill 124 retro for the principal vice principal group and the responsive education program grants, which the ministry required that disclosure on the other line. So finally, looking at the surplus for the year, the total annual surplus was $560,000, and the accumulated surplus has increased by this amount in 2025. The main pieces of the change in the accumulated surplus: there was a $1.6 million increase to the unappropriated operating accumulated surplus, which is due to additional funding being received by the ministry related to Bill 124 and collective agreement retro expenses, but these funds were made aware of after the revised budget was released. There was a reduction of $396,000 in the reserves for committed capital, which relates to the net of the amortization of committed capital and capital increases. There was a $250,000 increase for the LaSalle multi-use facility, which is the reserve has been increased to cover any future cost of field or turf replacements and or any exterior structural work. There was a $128,000 net decrease in the reserves for student-focused initiatives, local priority funds, and school-based initiatives. And finally, there was a $749,000 net decrease in the other unavailable for compliance reserves, which are not available to balance the budget, as those reserves are externally appropriated. And this concludes my portion of the presentation for the year ended August 31st, 2025.
Thank you, Derek, for that very comprehensive report. Are there any questions from trustees? And maybe Superintendent Gilbo, you have anything else that you need to say at this time? Okay, questions, go ahead. Any questions? Looking online also. Trustee Hunda, go ahead, please.
Sorry, it's not a question. I just want to take a second and thank Derek that you make things relatively easy for those of us that are laymen to understand what's going on. I want to thank you on behalf of certainly the audit committee and also Adam and Natalie and your team, because these are very, very in-depth, but you are able to bring us time and again. So it's somewhat understandable for us, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Trustee Hunda. Any other questions? Seeing none, so we have any other comments, Superintendent Gilbo?
Maybe I'll just join Trustee Hunda in thanking Derek and Megan and his team for all the hard work on the audit, and likewise Nancy and her finance team for, again, a great deal of work that goes into preparing these financial statements, and we're very pleased with what we've been able to present this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Gilbo. So we have a motion, and the motion will need a mover and a seconder, that the 2024-2025 financial statements be approved. And can I have a mover for that, please? Trustee Hunda? And a seconder? Trustee Cosmerly. Okay, we'll go to the vote. Please go ahead, Director.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Dabowski.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Seer.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. And once again, Derek, thank you so much for your presentation and all the hard work that you've done. So we're moving on to new business now, and I'm really pleased to turn the mic over to Director so he can share the annual report with us. So Director Bourchette, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Farrell. I'm very pleased to present the Rainbow District School Board's 2024-25 annual report, which provides an overview of what we've accomplished together in the past school year. Before I begin, I do want to acknowledge and thank Nicole Charette and Jennifer Bata and the senior team for all their hard work in compiling this information. As you know, Nicole takes a great deal of pride, and our annual report is certainly the envy of many organizations in terms of the quality of the report, the comprehensive nature of it, and what it actually comprises is the snapshot of all of our priorities. So I just want to say thank you in advance of presenting some of these contents for all of your hard work and dedication to this project. So the cover of the annual report features sisters from RLBD Public School, kindergarten student Charlotte Tan on the left, and grade 1 student Evelyn Tan. The photo was taken at the social evening held at the Welcome Center last spring. Newcomers had an opportunity to come together to make friends and learn about services offered to families. Everyone engaged in fun activities to promote literacy and numeracy. Also on the cover, we've highlighted that Rainbow Schools are 100% certified with Eco Schools Canada. We'll focus on both of these initiatives and more as we present the annual report for the past school year. Of course, we begin with our vision, mission, values, and priorities. I want to thank the Board of Trustees for adopting strategic directions, which continues to guide our work on student achievement and well-being. Together, we prepare students to become lifelong learners, achieving their full potential as confident, caring members of society. The mission reflects the board's vision, inspiring success for all students by reaching minds and touching hearts. The values that we model in Rainbow Schools are grounded in the 7 grandfather teachings of humility, bravery, honesty, wisdom, truth, respect, and love, braided together with resilience, equity, and community. And finally, our strategic directions have 6 priorities: student success and achievement, truth and reconciliation, literacy and numeracy, mental health and well-being, environmental education and sustainability, and equity and inclusive education. This annual report provides an overview of how we're achieving our priorities, with students first and foremost. It is not intended to be an all-encompassing list of everything we accomplished during the past school year, but it does reflect the progress that we made and the intentionality of our work. On page 3, trustees, in your governance role, you've charted the path forward for our staff, and once again, I commend you and thank you for your leadership, guidance, and dedication. Your clear direction has enabled us to focus on what matters most to this board and to the communities that we serve in Sudbury, Espanola, and Manitoulin Island. In this annual report, we've included an overview of the Board of Trustees that reflects the organizational structure approved at the last board meeting. Included on page 3 are the student trustees who were selected in the spring of 2025 and were sworn into their respective roles prior to the start of the current school year. Also on this page, we've listed the Executive Council. And as always, it is a privilege for us to serve the board, students, and families in Sudbury, Espanola, and Manitoulin. On page 4, you'll see that our chair recently completed a 2nd term with the board and has returned to the leadership role in the current school year. Chair Farrow is now in his 3rd term as chair of the board. Chair Farrow does say in his reports here that students continue to be the focus of decision-making as we work together with passion and purpose to direct resources into the classroom where they have the greatest impact. Chair Farrow also acknowledged staff for contributing their energy and enthusiasm towards student achievement and well-being. Our human resources are the board's greatest assets as they guide children and young people to become confident, capable, and caring members of society. And Chair Farrow also praised parents, guardians, coaches, volunteers, donors, and community members for supporting our students in so many ways. The 2024-25 school year was filled with magical moments and milestones. Our students continue to shine each and every day, and they also give us thousands of reasons to smile. Thank you, Chair Farrow, for indicating that our students make us all very proud. You will see that pride reflected throughout this annual report. In the 24-25 school year, it represents the third year of implementation of strategic directions. As we scroll to each new page, you'll see a snapshot of the progress we made on each priority. We are grateful for the incredible and intentional work being done in our schools by our dedicated administrators and our talented staff. We also value our partners in education who join with us to maximize opportunities for our students. The leadership of our Board of Trustees has been invaluable to our progress. The stories and photos in this annual report reflect our shared commitment to our students, our families, and our communities. As you read the highlights under each priority, you'll gain a deeper appreciation for the work we're doing together to foster student achievement and well-being. It is a privilege for me to serve the Rainbow District School Board and work with such talented, caring, and committed staff across our entire system. Trustees, your thoughtful leadership continues to inspire us to be the best we can be each and every day. As we begin our annual report with a focus on parents and guardians, I was energized when I heard that the Parent Involvement Committee wanted to launch the school year with an event called Parents, Pasta, Pizza, Popcorn, Potential, and Prizes. It proved to be a winning combination. For those who were there, we saw close to 500 participants of parents and guardians and their children participating in an evening of hands-on workshops delivered by our educators. I also had the pleasure of offering welcoming remarks at this event, which was held at Sudbury Secondary School, A.B. Ellis Public School, and Little Current Public School. It was a great deal of fun as families engaged in sessions on language, math, and mental health. The goal was to share strategies that teachers use in the classroom that parents could use at home. As we know, parental involvement improves student achievement, so we'll continue to invite parents to get involved through school councils, workshops, and board and school events. On page 7, we see a dedicated page to the topics explored during the Parent Involvement Committees last year. It's important that our parents and guardians have regular opportunities to be engaged in our schools, and that includes presentations on timely topics so they can support their children at home. The following topics were explored: using classroom strategies at home to support a child's learning, parents reaching out grants and school success stories, safe schools, which include the revised code of conduct, mental health, and a dialogue with parents on how to encourage children to gain more independence and confidence by trying some things they've never done before, with the parents' agreement, of course. Rainbow District School Board held 2 career fairs during the last school year, in the fall and the spring. We had a great turnout of candidates interested in filling a wide variety of positions. Our Human Resources Department, led by Tiffany Hayes, continues to work diligently throughout the school year to attract qualified people to join our team at the Center of Education and in our schools. Beginning on page 8, we move to the priorities approved by the board and strategic directions. We've allocated 6 pages of content, or 3 double-page spreads for each priority. As I mentioned previously, this report is not intended to be a summary of all the activities occurred in our schools. It does, however, provide examples of the key work undertaken during that school year. And while each priority stands on its own to make this work purposeful and meaningful, they do not operate in silos. You'll see how the priorities are interconnected as our annual report unfolds. We begin with mental health and well-being, which provides the readiness for learning. You will no doubt recall at a recent meeting, our mental health lead, Sarah Clark, said she was inspired by the work of all staff members of the board as we focus our collective efforts on student achievement and well-being. She added that nurturing a strong sense of belonging at schools supports mental health. Sarah presented an update at the board's mental health and addiction strategic plan. The goal is to create a learning environment for young people to become strong, healthy, vibrant, resilient members of society. All members of the school community are responsible for mental health promotion and wellness initiatives, and they're supported by a team of social workers who deliver programs in our schools. The mental health team also works one-on-one with students to identify warning signs and refer students to community agencies for further support when necessary. On page 9, of course, mental health and well-being encompasses all the board priorities, and here we see and highlight how we foster mental health among students, for example, teaching and modeling healthy coping strategies and providing a sense of belonging and connectedness. Mental health modules continue to be introduced to students to ensure they have access to research-based information that's relevant to them. Students in grades 7 and 8 participate in a series of mental health literacy modules that are part of the health and physical education curriculum. The modules, introduced in January of 2024, were developed by the Ministry of Education for the Ministry by School Mental Health Ontario. Parents received information on exploring mental health together to learn about the content that was covered in class, including signs, stigmas, strategies, and supports. Modules were introduced in career studies in 2024-25, and we expect modules for grade 6 in the 2025-26 school year. Rainbow District School Board has implemented a secure online platform called GreenSpace to chart student progress from that perspective. It's a tool for measurement-based care which enables mental health staff to follow students as they move forward through interventions. It also ensures the board maintains mental health records in accordance with our relevant legislation. On page 11, the board continues to participate in Headstrong, an evidence-based anti-stigma initiative aimed at inspiring students to be brave, to reach out, to speak up about mental health. The full-day conference brings together more than 100 secondary students from all 4 local boards. Led by the Mental Health Commission of Canada, Headstrong educates young people ages 14 to 18 to recognize the signs of mental health problems and to help reduce the stigma. Dare to Care continued in all schools from kindergarten to grade 9, with modules for students, professional learning for staff, and resources for parents and guardians. Dare to Care engages the entire school community in creating positive school cultures with a focus on kindness. Following input from our families, we implemented a new administrative procedure on mobile devices. Restricting use during instructional time enables our educators and our students to focus their full attention on teaching and learning. Access to social media sites is also restricted throughout the day. On the next page, we highlight our ongoing work on safe schools. Rainbow District School Board is one of 33 partners who signed a 5th community threat assessment protocol. Any of the partners signed on to the protocol can activate the assessment of risk to others, violent threat risk assessment, also called VITRA. The goal is to keep our community safe by intervening before incidents occur. Our schools recognized also Children's Mental Health Week. We've included a list of ways to promote mental health in children, and I think they're well worth highlighting. They include quality time with a caring adult, getting adequate sleep, reducing screen time, staying active and engaged in fun and play, spending time in nature, connecting to community and to culture, and supporting understanding and expressing emotions. Rainbow District School Board implemented several initiatives to address youth substance abuse with a primary focus on prevention. One particular area of concern is vaping. To support this work, the board partnered with the Lung Foundation to offer what's called the QUASH program, an evidence-based cessation initiative for youth-based age 14 to 30 designed to help them halt the haze, as they say. We engaged parents and guardians in the conversation through an information webinar, and we also invited parents and guardians to talk about these things through an in-person presentation that was live streamed to Espanola and Manitoulin. Rainbow District School Board partnered with Drug Free Kids Canada to host a session, and our mental health lead, Sarah Clark, said, openly talking about substance abuse will encourage children to make healthy choices and reduce potential harm. It is not an easy subject, but it is one that is essential in order to foster mental health and well-being. On page 14, we begin our focus on literacy and numeracy. As you know, we've been very purposeful and intentional in our efforts to build stronger readers, writers, and mathematicians. We begin with a focus on writing because putting pencil to paper promotes critical thinking. Writing is an essential skill. We are providing dedicated time, deliberate practice, and professional learning to build students' proficiency. We're committed to supporting writing instruction aligned with high-yield instructional strategies, which are used across the curriculum. The strategies include learning goals, direct instruction, feedback, questioning, deliberate practice, flexible groupings, reteaching, success criteria, and consolidation. Consolidation is the act of capturing and demonstrating learning before moving on to a new skill or concept. Putting pencil to paper is a powerful tool to consolidate learning. During our updates to the board, you may remember references to a book called The Writing Revolution. Teachers gathered after school to review concepts in the book and apply them to their classrooms. We've listed the foundational principles to improve writing skills sourced from this book. I will highlight the first one because I'm always talking about the importance of daily practice in writing. Students need explicit instruction in writing beginning in the early elementary grades. They also need to practice at school and at home. During the 2024-25 school year, Rainbow District School Board hosted a grade 7 and 8 model classroom at Lansdowne Public School. We launched Literacy Lighthouse classrooms in September of 2022, and they have proven to be effective in building teacher capacity in reading and writing. With a strong foundation in the early years and junior grades, we're now focused on improving outcomes in the intermediate division before students transition into secondary school. We've also developed writing exemplars for K-6 English program and K-8 French immersion, and as the name implies, exemplars provide examples of what writing looks like at levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 as students make progress from year to year, from grade to grade. On the next page, we focus on reading. LaSalle Second Elementary School, was selected for the Indigo Love of Reading Foundation fundraiser. The school is able to purchase new books for the library with generous donations to the community and discounts from Indigo. All students in their second year of kindergarten, grade 1 and grade 2, participated in early reading screening as mandated by the Ministry of Education. This information supports teachers to plan reading instruction. On pages 18 and 19, we joined the math demonstration classroom at Churchill Public School, where students are working on a spicy math problem. A teacher from Marksdale Public School is in the classroom observing best practice in math instruction, and this is one of the many ways we continue to build teacher capacity in math. In addition to a math lead, the board had 8 math coaches who worked with schools during the last school year. Teachers continue to provide students with high-fidelity math instruction, supported by the work of consultants, coaches, and coordinators at all grade levels. This was the second year of math action plans in all of our schools. Schools develop a math action plan annually with school level and classroom level strategies as well as measurable outcomes, and the plan aligns with the board's math achievement action plan. On the next page, you'll see a summary of the EQAO results, including those recently released for the last school year. These results are a testament to our collective efforts in literacy and numeracy. The strategy implemented at the board level and our schools to support reading, writing, and math continue to be effective. Students in Rainbow schools have made significant gains in EQAO assessments, and the year-over-year percentage change in all but 2 assessments surpassed the provincial results with marked improvement in mathematics. We've been very intentional in our efforts to ensure students develop strong skills in reading, writing, and math. Trustees, school leaders, educators, support staff, and families are all working together towards a common goal. Our students are building their competence and confidence in critical skills that are essential for learning in all subject areas. We will continue to remain focused and build on our efforts in years to come. On page 21, we delve into French as a second language. This includes French immersion and core French, which begins in grade 4 in the English language program. A new website was unveiled for teachers from K to 12. With resources at their fingertips, teachers can quickly find what they're looking for and apply the learning tools in their classrooms. The website has a wide range of resources in French, organized by divisions including centralized resources and lesson plans, e-magazines for real-world French culture, materials to support diverse learners, and simplified assessment tools. A new steering committee has been leading the FSL program renewal. The guide to French as a second language has been reviewed and updated for both parents, guardians, and schools. The guide's primary goal is to foster deeper understanding of French second language programming among families and staff across the board. It outlines key processes to ensure the program is delivered consistently, maintaining high standards and alignment with educational objectives. Staff began developing a junior scope and sequence for French immersion. This will promote consistency and clarity and excellence in FSL instruction across all our schools. And we've also been welcoming multi-language learners into our French immersion classrooms. Speaking multiple languages enhances both French and English development. And in the 2024-25 school year, we began working on a French immersion demonstration classroom that was launched at Llewellyn Park Secondary School this fall. On page 23, we joined the grade 8 classroom at Alexander Public School, where we officially launched the new trades trailer, generously donated by Lopes Limited and Coniston Industrial Park Limited. The Think Trades Trailer initiative targets students in grade 8, opening pathways to exciting careers by inspiring students to consider trades in secondary school and beyond. The trailer aligns with the Ministry of Education's focus to build capacity for careers in trades. And this is another example of great things that can happen when we work together to support student success. As you know, skilled trades are vital to the health and growth of our economy, and we need more skilled workers. The Ministry of Labor, Immigration, Training, and Skills Development hosted the Level Up Skills Trade Fair at the Sudbury Arena, with an evening component for parents and guardians to return with their children. Level Up fairs were presented across the province as part of the Ministry of Education's efforts to modernize the skilled trades and apprenticeship programs, address shortages in skilled trades, and attract more of Ontario's young people to the industry. We had over 1,800 students participate in this engaging and interactive fair. Project Search at Health Sciences North has been very successful. As such, the program expanded to Pioneer Manor in the last school year. Our interns continue to make us proud, and they gain experience and develop their skills in the workplace. Many participants have secured employment in our community, and we want to thank the City of Greater Sudbury, Health Sciences North, and the March of Dimes for joining us to make these programs possible for our students. You may recall celebrating a milestone for Barrydown College, 1,000 graduates since its inception in the fall of 2011. During the regular meeting of the board on April 22nd, 2025, trustees received an overview of the school's history and its impact on hundreds of young people throughout the years. Following the presentation, there was a standing ovation as the board acknowledged the graduates and staff who supported them. We began Barrydown College because we believed that young people who had left school before graduating had tremendous potential and could flourish in a unique learning environment. Barrydown College continues to open its doors for young people in our community, and we thank Cambrian College for their partnership. On the next few pages, we celebrate another milestone. Rainbow District School Board was one of 3 school boards in Canada to receive 100% Eco-School certification during the last school year. We continue to lead the way in environmental education and climate action. This is the 3rd time our schools have earned this distinction, and we'll be making every effort to repeat this tremendous achievement this year. Rainbow schools earned 25 platinum, 9 gold, 3 silver, and 3 bronze certifications. The number of schools that have qualified for the highest level of certification, the platinum level, doubled in 2023-24. Rainbow District School Board has added another school to the platinum designation last year. We are instilling in students and the communities we serve eco-friendly practices that will last a lifetime. Monthly environmental challenges, which always include an Indigenous education component, have proven to be an effective way to broaden the scope of education and environmental action. Rainbow District School Board hosted its second Eco Summit during the last school year. The theme was Water is Life. Eco leaders from grades 7 to 12 attended the Green Symposium to learn about environmental responsibility, water sustainability, and how they can lead environmental initiatives in their schools and respective communities. The Eco Summit empowered students with knowledge and practices to care for the planet at school, at home, and in the community. And on the next page, we joined the students of R.H. Murray Public School as they released trout fry into Lake Panache. There's a hatchery at the school, which is providing rich lessons in science as well as reading, writing, and math. For the fry to be released, students joined staff and partners from Sudbury Fish and Game and Atikamekshing and Anishinaabeg who organized the event and also offered tobacco and a prayer before releasing the fry into the water. A similar event was held in Sudbury with students from Llewellyn Park Secondary School helping with the release of lake trout into Nepewan Lake. The students are part of the Specialist High Skills Major program in Environmental Studies. Specialist High Skills Majors include experiential learning through community outreach. This brings us to our standalone priority on truth and reconciliation. During the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation on September 30th, the school day began with a moment of silence for the survivors of residential schools and the children who never came home. A total of 560 students from 6 elementary schools and 3 secondary schools participated in Reconciliation Day at Bell Park. The theme was truth, resiliency, and hope, respect, and respecting each other's way of life, and respecting each other. All of our schools engaged in rich learning that day in Indigenous education. The day was greeted with a sunrise ceremony at Espanola High School and a new outdoor learning space that was finalized over the summer. It was a beautiful and memorable moment as we gathered with elders, knowledge keepers, students, staff, and community members. The sunrise ceremony is one of many ways we collaborate with our Indigenous partners to give students and staff an opportunity to learn more about Indigenous traditions and ceremonies. The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation was a day of reflection and learning for our staff as we continue our journey towards reconciliation. Staff and students in Rainbow Schools continue to learn about treaties and the importance of treaty relationships during Treaties Recognition Week. Treaties Recognition Week was implemented in response to the 94 calls for action identified in the final report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Resources were provided to schools to support classroom learning and teaching. The Indigenous Education Department also developed a resource about the treaties and their importance in truth and reconciliation, as we are all treaty people. The resources include a historical timeline of treaties and highlights the rights and responsibilities of Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples with respect to treaties. Rainbow District School Board added a new role in Indigenous education last year, a cultural facilitator. The cultural facilitator implements initiatives to support schools with intentional cultural learning focused on identity, knowledge, and shared experiences. Working with teams in schools, the facilitator plans programming specific to each school's context and community to build student and staff understanding. Schools also partnered with Spirit North to introduce students to Indigenous cultural experiences. On page 39, we focus on equity and inclusive education. Rainbow District School Board hosted a social for newcomers at the end of May in the Sudbury Secondary School cafeteria next to our new Welcome Center. Participants enjoyed family-friendly games and language acquisition activities. New friendships were formed based on shared experiences. The YMCA settlement workers in schools highlighted how to stay connected and active over the summer, and it was heartwarming to see newcomer families come together as the school year was drawing to a close. On page 41, with generous donations from Matt's Plumbing and local businesses and communities, we received turkeys to distribute to families for the holidays. This initiative has grown steadily since its inception in 2019. The turkeys were shared with 17 Rainbow District schools. District School Board facility staff were among the various drivers who made deliveries to the schools. Espanola High School began offering free night school classes for adults 21 years of age and older who reside in Espanola, Whitefish, River First Nation, Webwood, Massey, Willisville, Nairn Center, McCarrow, Spanish, and Sagamok First Nation. Learning opportunities focused on graduation requirements as well as senior literacy and numeracy. Once again, we offered Free to Be Me. There were 2 events, one for grade 7 and 8 students and another for grade 9 to 12. The symposium aimed at creating enhanced and enhancing school-based supports for students who are two-spirited, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, and intersex, as well as students with families and friends in these communities. Freedom EME allows students to select from a wide range of age-appropriate workshops, as well as provides an opportunity to build new friendships with students from other schools. During the last school year, the board partnered with Future North to deliver workshops for students in grade 9. These workshops focused on equity, diversity, and inclusive education. In our next section, we pay tribute to the recipients of the board awards. We also recognize individuals who have achieved 35 years of service and 25 years of service. We welcome the opportunity to feature dedicated employees and community partners in the 2025 Board's Award booklet, which was distributed last spring. Together, our award recipients reflect the experience, energy, and enthusiasm that make Rainbow Schools great places to learn. In addition to our award recipients, there are many reasons to celebrate throughout the school year. You will recall that we welcome some of our talented students to the board meetings to learn more about their achievements and extend our congratulations. An example is the Llewellyn Park Secondary School team that captured the overall combined team championship title at OFSA Track and Field. I believe that's the first ever. Here we honor the athletes and coaches who give students opportunities to participate in athletics at local, regional, and national levels. Also, you see Felix Nagy, a grade 9 student at Llewellyn Park Secondary School, won a bronze medal in the intermediate division at the Canada-wide Science Fair for his project Biogen, bone implant optimization and generation for enhanced reconstruction. And thanks to the Manitoulin Secondary School Living Well Locker, which is restocked thanks to generous community support. On page 48, we see Chelmsford Valley Composites School's first ever robotics team earning a Rising Star Award at the first LEGO League Provincial Championships. And you'll remember we had a lot of fun working with these students when they joined us in the boardroom. Also, we'll see a teacher at Swakmok Alternative School, Lori Dunn, receiving the Guiding the Journey Indigenous Education Award in the Partner in Indigenous Education category at the 2024 Inspire Awards ceremony. Also see the Rainbow Schools collected $57,830 for area food banks. Lively District Secondary School earned $5,000 grant for the Walden Food Bank through the Youth Philanthropy Initiative, Also, Lockerbie Composite School's 2024 Kids Caring for Kids Cancer Drive was another tremendous success. They raised $45,000, and as you know, they're over $1 million over the last several decades. Izzy Ayo, a grade 7 student from Lansdowne Public School, garnered accolades for her artwork submitted to an international peace poster competition. And for the 7th year, LaSalle Secondary School hosted its Sisu Family Walk to raise funds for fitness at Valendia Village. Emily Ansis, a grade 3 student at Asiganek Public School, captured 3rd place in the primary category at the Spelling Bee of Canada National Championships, proving that hard work spells success. Secondary students from Rainbow Schools tested their business acumen in the accounting case study competition that was introduced in 2024. Rainbow District School Board trustee Alexandra Wilson-Ziegel was a 2025 recipient of the TD Scholarship for Community Leadership. Some students from Lansdowne and Princess Anne Public School received backpacks thanks to generous donations from Kiwanis Club of Northeastern Ontario and Staples in Sudbury. And the Lockerbie Composite Junior Boys captured the gold medal in the 5-kilometer race at the OFSA Nordic Skiing Competition. On page 51, we see that Ralph McIntosh was the 2025 recipient of the Joan Mantle Music Trust Community Award, and Sudbury Secondary celebrated 40 years of arts education. A time capsule from 2000 was opened at Valley View Public School, and Llewellyn Park Secondary School received $30,000 for a CNC education grant from the Gene Haas Foundation to support students in the school's engineering design and innovative technology program. Sudbury Secondary School garnered silver at the 2025 mock trial competition, and if you look very carefully, you see student trustee Danae Arcira in this photo. Congratulations. Students from Chelmsford Valley District Composite School visited Shirley and Jim Fielding Northeastern Cancer Center at Health Sciences North to deliver handmade baskets for patients. Teacher Carolyn Black, a robotics team mentor at Manitoulin Secondary School, was a 2025 First Educators Recognition Program honoree. And Llewellyn Park Secondary School's robotic team captured First Tech World Championship in Houston, Texas. In a first for Rainbow District School Board, we had students who captured gold at the National Skills Competition. Ishoe Abagandi was one of 13 students from Rainbow District School Board who captured top honors at the skills competition. It was a record for our school board. Again, this is not an all-inclusive list of milestones and memories, and we have so much more to celebrate in last school year, but we wanted to highlight a few things for you just to go back down memory lane and show some respect for some tremendous accomplishments. On page 54, it's become our practice to include an overview of the current board budget in the annual report. Trustees approved this budget for 2025-26 in the previous school year, and it's important because it provides the financial framework to enable the board to achieve its vision, mission, values, and priorities and strategic directions. The public can access the board's financial statements at rainbowschools.ca. On page 55, we include some background about how the budget is developed. The process is very inclusive. We seek input long before budget discussions begin. On page 56, you see our staff complement increased slightly. Our facilities remained unchanged from the past school year. And on page 57, we've included pie charts on sources of revenue and expenses by object and function, with providing a snapshot of what goes where, how the board allocates its budget to have the greatest impact on the classroom. On pages 58 to 63, we recognize our Ontario scholars and scholarship recipients for the previous school year, and we congratulate all our graduates. On page 64, we have a current directory of the back cover for ease of reference for parents and families. Trustees, I will say to you that I really appreciate your patience. I know that I've gone through a lot. We're obviously very, very proud of all the things we've done. I am concluding my presentation on the annual report. As you know, school boards are required to produce an annual report in accordance with the Education Act. Annual reports are shared with the Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Education, and our many partners in the communities that we serve. Our primary partners, of course, are the parents and guardians who have entrusted us with the education of their children. Annual reports are also posted on our website under broader public sector reports in the About Us section. Once we've completed the accessibility version of the annual report, it will be available online. We will send a news release out to advise the public, and we've had a productive school year as we completed the third set of implementations of our strategic directions. This report is a reflection of the clear guidance provided by this board. Your leadership through governance enables us to remain focused and purposeful in our work, and this report highlights the commitment and honors the dedication of our administrators, educators, and support staff. It also recognizes our partners in education, our parents and guardians who support learning at home, and our coaches and mentors and volunteers who expose students to a world of opportunities through athletics, academics, and arts. And finally, this report celebrates student achievement and well-being. As Chair Farrow said, our students continue to shine each and every day. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve you all in this role. It's an honor for me to work with a terrific team of our executive council, our trustees, and our staff as we fulfill our shared mission. Together, we prepare students to become lifelong learners, achieving their full potential as confident, caring members of society. Our students continue to make us all very proud, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, Director Bourget, what a fantastic report. Very comprehensive, and for one, I sit here feeling very proud of the work that's been done over Rainbow District School Boards over the last year. From setting direction to the people that actually keep our schools clean and tidy. We have truly a fantastic team in Rainbow District School Board, and this annual report absolutely reflects the great work that happens in our schools on a day-to-day basis. So on behalf of all of us, I want to say congratulations to everybody that works so hard in Rainbow District School Board for this wonderful, wonderful report. So with that comment, we can have a, yes, please, applause. Now with that comment, I'll open up to any questions or comments from trustees also. Trustee Cosmley, go ahead, please.
Just to add, wow, like that, you feel very proud. And I'm very proud to be a trustee of this board. Incredible work that we do. And thanks to everyone. Thank you to Nicole for her hard work putting this together. Thank you to everyone who supports students, as we very clearly do. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmley. Any further comments, questions about the annual report? Online, anything?
Hi there, it's Lisa.
Go ahead, Trustee Cosmley, go ahead. Sorry,
Oh, no.
Trustee Corbett Addison. Go ahead. I think we lost her. Okay, if she does come back on, we'll give her an opportunity to make a comment at that time. Anything further by trustees? So once again, Director Bourget and all the team, congratulations, very well done. So we'll move on with our agenda. We're under new business again, and we're at F2 now, which is policy, section policy review calendar. At our last board meeting, Trustee Gibson provided a notice of motion that she would bring the following motion forward at this board meeting. And the motion reads that the board establish a policy review calendar for the 2025-2026 year to be adopted by board motion and appended to the governance policy manual. So that motion is brought forward by Trustee Gibson. We'll need a seconder for that motion, please. We have a seconder, please. So as chair of the board, I can take the extraordinary position to actually second, if no other trustees will second. But I'm looking at Trustee Hunda. Go ahead. Okay, Trustee Hunda will second the motion. Thank you, Trustee Hunda. Okay, so Trustee Gibson, the motion reads that the board establish a policy review calendar for 2025-26 to be adopted by board motion and appended to the governance policy manual. Trustee Gibson, would you like to speak to the motion, please?
Thank you, Chair Farrow. Yes, I won't speak for long. This motion is simply about planning our work and keeping our policies up to date. We do have a committee in place to complete this work. So a policy review calendar provides them a clear, transparent plan for the upcoming year and supports our obligations under our governance policy number 10, policy development and review, and helps us keep our policies that they remain current and relevant as is necessary. So that's the reason that I brought this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson. Do you have any other speakers in opposition to the motion? Trustee Cosmerly, please.
Thank you. I have some issues with this particular motion. It indicates that the board will establish a policy review calendar, not that the governance committee will establish that. It is the mandate of the Governance Policy and Bylaw Review Committee to regularly review and recommend revisions to governance policies and bylaws to maintain relevant, efficient, and effective implementation. So it's already part of their mandate. To me, this is a bit of a redundancy. So I would, I have no problem with anything being attached to the governance policy manual afterwards, but I have issues with the board establishing this policy review committee. I'm not sure how it would be done, given that there is a committee that's mandated to take a look at things. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly. Any other comments or on the motion? Comments or questions on the motion? Trustee Hunda, go ahead, please.
I do tend to agree with my colleague. I have no problem with the whole idea. It's just I too kind of think that it might be a little redundant, and I do believe that the calendar would properly belong to the committee, as opposed to being, like, I don't know how I don't understand how the board would come up with, like, what would be the basis of the board deciding when for the committee. I believe that when we have the committee, it is stated in the mandate. So I too think it's, like, I guess I don't have a major problem with this policy. I just personally don't think it's necessary either.
Point of information.
Yes, go ahead, Trustee Gibson.
Thank you, Chair Farrow. I didn't put any clear direction in the motion about who would devise the calendar, just that it would be adopted by board motion, so the whole board would approve it. So certainly the committee could devise the calendar and bring it to the board for approval, or executive council could devise the calendar. I mean, there could be several ways. You could have even had the calendar ready and passed it with the motion this evening. There's a couple of different ways that it could have been handled. handled. But the fact of the matter is that the committee's been in place for almost a year, and we don't have any sort of calendar or anything to show our upcoming work, both for ourselves as the committee and for the board members who are not on the committee, and for the public at large, who would obviously have an opportunity to be consulted on any changes to our policy. So it would be useful them to see what's upcoming rather than just to have that minimum period that we consult once we've formulated the policy. So I certainly think that in terms of transparency and accountability, it's just something that would show the work that we're doing rather than keeping it all behind the scenes, especially as the work's happening in what functions as a subcommittee. So it's not necessarily as transparent as, say, the strategic planning meeting. So it was silly, as I mentioned earlier, to support our obligations and transparency and accountability.
Thank you, Trustee Gibson. Any other? We have Trustee Doer online. Go ahead, Trustee Doer.
Thank you very much. My problem is similar to an earlier suggestion, and that is the motion itself states that the board is 9 people. How do 9 people establish a policy review calendar? We obviously would need to get together. I'm not quite sure how we do that, but my difficulty is that it's directing 9 of us to do something, and that's my problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Doer. Trustee Clement, please.
Thank you, Chair, through you. In the past, the Policy Review Committee, it is their job to review policy as needed. It is their purview to do that, and if we have an issue that comes up, then we would have a review. Having to review just to review and put it on a calendar would be just excessive to me. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I'm going to, as chair of the board, I'm not able to speak to motions, so what I would like to do is ask Trustee McCauley if I could vacate the chair and he could chair the meeting for a second so I could speak to this motion, please.
As you wish, I'll take the chair.
Thanks, Trustee McCauley. So I fundamentally don't have a problem with the motion, and I think I understand the spirit of what Trustee Gibson is saying here. The committee has been in place for quite some time, and there's very important work that we need to do as a group of trustees, that we keep looking at our policies and updating our policies from time to time. So in the spirit of the motion, to put a little bit of fire under our backsides to get the work done, I think that's a really important thing for us to consider. What I would suggest, so, to Trustee Gibson, if this may be or may not be a friendly amendment, but just to substitute the word in the motion that instead of the board, that the Governance Policy Review Committee establish a policy review calendar. Would that be something that you could consider, Trustee Gibson?
Trustee Gibson?
Thank you, Chair McCauley. I don't think that the committee can actually make that decision. We do need to review all the policies, not just those that have changes. We are committed to reviewing all of them, and that hasn't been done this term. So this was just really, as I said, more of a transparency measure that everyone would know what the policy is. They all have to be reviewed, so it would really be as simple as the number of policies divided by the number of meetings, and you would have to do 4 per meeting, 5 per meeting, whatever it worked out to. So I'm not sure the confusion, but yes, the committee could make a calendar, but they could not append it to the manual and make it public because they're just a committee. They would have to make a recommendation to the board. So again, I don't think it needs to be that complicated. But I'm certainly not opposed to it, but I just don't think it's in order.
Thank you. Trustee Dabowski.
Thank you, Chair Macaulay. I guess a question through you in reference to the Governance Policy and Bylaw Review Committee. In our governance bylaws, it states it functions as a subcommittee under the Strategic Planning Committee. So I'm wondering if I guess maybe similar in spirit, just because the subcommittee functions under the Strategic Planning Committee that provides recommendations to the full board in terms of our process. So would or could we perhaps direct the Strategic Planning Committee to devise the calendar as part of the oversight for the subcommittee? It's a question. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee Dubosky. Trustee Cosmerly.
Thank you. Just to add muddiness to the water, we are also taking a look, and we are going to have to take a look. We're trying to sort out how at Strategic Planning Committee and the relationship with Policy and Governance Committee, given that Strategic Planning Committee is a committee of the whole, and the government has made changes about attendance at Committee of the Whole meetings. We are working with OESC, and that's one of the areas that may be discussed at Governance Committee. We're not sure. So there's a little bit of muddiness in all of this, but I would think, a Governance Committee has to set its agenda of what it's going to be responsible for and doing. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.
On that note, I think I'll switch it back to Chair. Oh, one moment. I'm still active. Go ahead.
Thanks. So I think we can spend a lot of times getting caught up in semantic. I want to keep us to the spirit. What I think the spirit of the motion is that there's important work that needs to be done, and this will hold our feet to the fire to get it done. So in the spirit of the motion, I'm going to support this motion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair Farrell. I don't know if it's if I can make a comment at this juncture. Okay, I'll turn the chair back over to the chair, the real chair. And I'm wondering.
Thank you, Trustee Macaulay. You may make a comment now.
I'm wondering out loud, and I'm wondering, Anita, I'm not totally opposed to what you're trying to do. I'm just wondering if it would be better if we had this stand down and have it considered by the appropriate committee and brought back to the table. And if you could be in agreement with that, Anita, the motion would still remain active in my view, and we could just have it stand down, I would suggest, until the next board meeting.
Trustee Gibson, do you want to respond to that?
Is Trustee Macaulay making a motion to defer the motion?
Trustee Macaulay?
I had some comments to wrap up. I was going to ask to call
Trustee
the question,
Macaulay,
but I'm not sure what he's
Are
suggesting.
you making a motion to defer?
I will go along with Anita to make some comments to wind up, and then I will be making a motion to defer.
Okay, Trustee, go ahead, Trustee Gibson.
My comments to wrap up were that if we were to go ahead and pass this motion today, we would just be committing to basically what our policy already states, which is to review all our policies. And this is really just a housekeeping item. It's not saying we're going to review all our policies because we already have a policy that says that. It's saying how we're going to do it. It's dividing the work up to make sure that it's done by August or the end of this school year. So that's all that it is. So there's, as I said before, there's no reason why we can't pass this motion this evening in the spirit that it's intended, which is accountability and transparency to not only get the work done, but to share that we are doing the work and what the upcoming work is. And then we have an upcoming meeting of that committee. That's where we'd make the decision of what the calendar would be, and we'd just bring it back at the next meeting for approval of that calendar so that everybody could see that calendar and we'd all be on the same page, and those that are not on the committee would have an update on what that committee is going to be doing in case they had any input onto those policies. So it really doesn't change anything that we're doing. It just makes us accountable and it just gives us transparency. So I don't see any reason not to move forward with it this evening. It's very important that we regularly review and update our policies. There is very outdated language in our policies at the moment. This is something that needs to be done. And with respect, I feel like we've waited long enough and the time is now for action. Thank you.
Trustee McCauley, please.
Yes, first and foremost, I'm going to withdraw my comment about making a motion to defer, but I am going to call for the question.
Okay, we have a call for the question. So we have a mover for the motion. That was Trustee Gibson, and it's seconded by Trustee Hunda. The motion reads that the board establish a policy review calendar for the 2025-2026 year to be adopted by a board motion and appended to the governance policy manual. And I'll ask the director for a poll vote, please.
Trustee Clement.
Not in favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
Not in favor.
Trustee Dubosky.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
Opposed.
Trustee Farrow.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
Opposed.
Trustee Cosmely.
Opposed?
Trustee McCauley.
In favor?
Student Trustee Seer.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
Opposed.
The motion is not carried.
Thank you, Director. Moving on to our next item of business, insurance renewal. We have Superintendent Gilbo, do you want to speak to this motion before we entertain it? Go ahead, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair Farrow. So in the package you received, you will see that the OSB premium invoice for 2026, including the breakdown of each coverage and the respective costs, is included. So this year, we're facing an increase of approximately 12%, primarily reflected in both extended coverage, which I'll speak to, and the liability portion of our premiums. The insurance sector as a whole continues to face pressures, including inflation, rising litigation costs, and claim damages. It is important to note that even in the face of increases of approximately $52,000, we continue to see annual refunds from OSB as members of the exchange. This year, that refund was roughly $86,000, and last year was approximately $62,000, and these amounts have been reinvested in our ongoing network security efforts. As a result, we are thrilled to remind you that we are now eligible for the enhanced cybersecurity coverage, and of course, that comes with additional premiums of approximately $10,000 that are reflected in this total. So OSB has confirmed that there are no trending concerns for our board or anything out of the ordinary in today's market, and therefore we have the following motion for your consideration.
Thank you, Superintendent Gilbo. Any questions before we entertain the motion? Seeing none, so we'll need a mover and a seconder for the following motion, that the 2026 renewal of insurance for liability, property, crime, and fleet automobile with the Ontario School Board Insurance Exchange for $487,735.60 be approved. Moved by Trustee Hunda, seconded by, I'm going to look online. Trustee Dewar, do you have your hand up as a seconder?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Trustee Dewar. No further questions or comments? We'll call for the vote. Director, please.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee Dubosky.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrow.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmely.
In favor?
Trustee McCauley.
In favor?
Student Trustee Seer.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Next item on the agenda is the budget development process. And once again, I'll turn to Superintendent Gilbo to make comment before we entertain the motion.
Thank you again, Chair. So again, within the package you received, you will find a copy of our budget development process for the 2026-27 school year, and it follows the same format as previous years. So this month, we will engage with the community on budget considerations for the next school year, with replies due at the end of January. We hope to receive information from the ministry regarding core education funding by the end of March, which will allow us to prepare for the budget for the 2026-27 school year. An overview will be presented at the first board meeting in June for the purpose of review and recommendation, with final approval coming at the end of June so that we can submit to the ministry by the typical July deadline. And with that, we have the motion for your consideration.
Thank you, Superintendent Gilbo. So the motion, we'll need a mover and seconder for the following motion, that the 2026-2027 budget development process be approved. That's moved by, I'm looking online. I have moved by Trustee McCauley here and seconded online by Trustee Corbier-Addison. Any further questions? All those in favor, please indicate to the director.
Trustee Clement. Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee DeBoski.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor?
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmely.
In favor?
Trustee McCauley.
In favor.
Student Trustee Seer.
In favor.
Student Trustee Gannett.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. Next item of business is notice of absences. There are no absences tonight. However, Trustee Dewar and Trustee Gibson, Trustee Corbier-Addison, and Trustee DeBoski made a request to me, and it was approved to participate electronically in tonight's meeting. Their request meets the criteria outlined in bylaw number 14. And that takes us to Director's remarks. Director Bourget, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair Farrell. I'd like to begin with expressing our gratitude to Superintendent Gilbo and our Finance Department Manager, Nancy Chiquetto, and all of the finance team for their excellent work in preparing for the audit. The clean audit report is the highest level of assurance and is certainly a testament to good practices and ongoing due diligence. I also like to express our gratitude to Principal Brenda Carr for assembling a team from Rainbow District School Board, which included Trustee Cosmely, and thank the staff who volunteered at the Sudbury Lions CTV Christmas Telethon on Saturday. Some of our schools also performed. Sudbury Secondary, Algonquin, and CVDCS did a great job. It was an amazing evening, and the telethon raised $357,000 for our families and our communities. Trustees, as you know, we received the EQO results last week. Please know we are continuing to review the data. In January, we do plan to present a full update to the board. Overall, we do continue to make gains in our student achievement, and I'd like to express our gratitude to our talented teachers and our amazing administrators for their dedication and commitment to the success of our students. And trustees, it's a special occasion today. This is Superintendent Kathy Watchnuk's final board meeting. She's been superintendent of schools for the past 10 years. She came to the board in a senior leadership role with 22 years of experience as an elementary classroom teacher, vice principal, principal of special education in both the English and French immersion programs, and she's a proud graduate of Rainbow District School Board. In addition to being responsible for a family of schools, Superintendent Watchnuk has overseen special education programs and services throughout her tenure in the role. Her extensive experience working with local agencies has been of great benefit to our board and to our schools. As superintendent, she focused on evidence-based approaches to meet student needs and fostered a culture of high standards. Under her leadership, the board launched Project Search at Health Sciences North and Pioneer Manor, introduced the Applied Behavior Analysis Program and training, and developed the Transition Age Youth Protocol. Literacy interventions were implemented throughout Empower and Lexia programs with positive results, and to this day we continue to build on these efforts. She also worked in mental health and safe schools for many years, and throughout her career she proved to be an advocate for students of all abilities and a champion for inclusive education. She leaves a rich legacy in education and school support. And we want to wish you all the very best, and thank you for all you've done, and have a wonderful, well-deserved retirement. Enjoy some time with family, friends, explore new interests, travel, and spend time doing as you choose, because you've certainly earned it with all your hard work over the years. So I want to say thank you very much for your incredible service to the board. Sincere thanks, Kathy. So I'd like to also thank the board, our trustees, executive council, our school administrators, and all of our teachers and support staff for the incredible work that we're doing each and every day to support our students and student learning. There are many events in the upcoming days for students and staff to enjoy. A very well-earned break is just around the corner, and as this is the last regular board meeting of 2025, I'd like to wish everyone a restful, safe, fun-filled holiday season. We look forward to continuing our good work on behalf of students in the new year. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Director Bourget, for your remarks. Next item of business is the OPSPA Director, so I'll turn the microphone over to Trustee Cosmley. Go ahead.
Thank you. I only have one item for this evening. I am attending an online special board meeting of OPSPA delegates on December 18th to vote on a motion to amend and restate its general bylaw to change OPSPA's size and structure. If passed, the Board of Directors will immediately be reduced from 52 to 19 members. In the new model, regions will be represented at the OPSPA table by their regional chairs and vice chairs. The role of regional councils will be enhanced in January to align with the new governance structure to ensure that boards' voices are not lost. Unless I receive direction otherwise from this board, I plan to vote in favor of OPSPA's motion. Over the past few days, I've had several discussions with OPSPA President Kathleen Woodcock about specific concerns, and she has addressed them to my satisfaction. So while I am still unhappy about the speed of the proposed changes, I understand why they're being made and I support them. Please feel free to share your thoughts about these changes with me before December 18th so that I'm voting on behalf of everyone at the board. Thank you.
Any questions for Trustee Cosmley in regards to a very important time in OPSPA right now? Seeing none, we'll move on to student trustees for the report, and Trustee Izzy, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair. At our December 1st Student Senate meeting, it was a very small yet productive meeting. We started off by playing some festive icebreakers, such as Holiday Guess Who and Guess That Holiday Tune, which was really fun to break the ice because we had a lot of new faces at Senate this meeting. Thankfully, it was very awesome to see them all. At the end of the meeting, while we were checking in with the senators, we got a lot of good comments about icebreakers. They said they enjoyed them and they helped make the environment more fun, friendly, and comfortable for them. We had a long discussion at our meeting and chose the themes for our 5 breakout rooms that will be offered at our conference, which, as a reminder, the theme is change making. The themes that we decided on are change making within communities, making change within the environment, change making within yourself/your life, change making in schools, and building an action plan/SMART goals. We also discussed possible speakers for these breakout rooms, as well as possible keynote speaker options. We sent the senators home with some homework to research speakers and bring them back so we can start finalizing them. We are hoping to start contacting people after the January meeting. Thank you.
Student Trustee Sear, go ahead, please.
Since the last board meeting, I have been in contact with Collage Boreal to confirm a venue and date for the Stand Up Speak Out Leadership Conference. We will be holding the conference in the, I apologize if I've pronounced this wrong, Au Pied du Rocher, with an additional 5 classrooms for the breakout room sessions. We chose this venue due to our few years of history with them, their kind staff, and what the venue includes. This venue is fully wheelchair accessible, equipped with 2 screens, a projector, a fully integrated sound system, and they offer additional technical amenities including a podium, microphones, laptops, and mobile conferencing systems. The date of the conference will be May 7th, 2026. We welcome you all to attend to see the hard work of our senators and see the learning taking place. Before the end of our meeting, we had a discussion about how Senate is going so far for the senators, how they feel, what have they learned, is it too much work for them, anything that they hope to see this year, and anything we as the student trustees can do to support them. This resulted in a good conversation, and we took the information shared to our next meeting's plans. On December 5th, I had the privilege to meet with assistant principals of Indigenous Education Tim Najwan and Travis Corbier, as well as Director Bourget, to start a line of communication with them with the staff that directly support our Indigenous student body. I felt it was important to have this meeting so we can discuss the student experience as Indigenous students within the RDSB. I was able to voice the student concerns across multiple schools, which will now be addressed and looked into by them. I'm thankful to Director Bourget, Mr. Corbier, and Mr. Najwan for taking the time to meet with me, explain their roles, the history within the board for prioritizing Indigenous education, and their work to bring the proper supports needed by our Indigenous students to them. Thank you.
Thanks very much, student trustees. Are there any questions at this time? Good. Trustee Honda, go ahead, please.
Just a quick comment. Aren't they great? They work so hard, and honestly, these girls are seniors, and they're working, so hard and being able to do all this work. That just always make me proud.
Well, Trustee Honda, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say what great work that they're doing, and I just wanted to thank them on behalf of all of us for the great work that they're doing. We'll now move on to trustees' remarks. Trustee McCauley, please.
Yes, I'm going to try to keep my remarks shorter than the director and about half as long as the chair. In any event, the first thing I'm pleased to speak about is the PIC committee. And we don't hear enough about the PIC committee and the great work that Superintendent Mantle and her gang do to bring the parent committee together. We had a meeting on December the 2nd, and we had an excellent turnout of parents and guardians and staff representatives at the Parent Involvement Committee meeting. And I would like to congratulate Stephanie Bork of Chelmsford Valley District Composite School for serving as PIC chair for the current school year. She replaces Melissa Gladue, who, like I guess President Trump, has come to the end of her term and cannot stand for another term, but she is going to step into the role of vice chair. Melissa is on the school council of Northeastern Elementary School and Llewellyn Park Secondary School. Both Stephanie Bork and Melissa Gladue are longtime members of their respective school councils and have certainly been very active on PIC. And during the meeting, 3 elementary schools shared their parents reaching out or pro-grant success stories. And I know that the chair and the director would have been happy to hear their presentations. It was Little Current Public School. They provided an overview of the school's STEM night. In May 2025, activities included a Manitoulin Secondary School robotics demonstration, 3D printer design workshop, a Lego room, escape room, and more. Participating families took home a STEM kit. Some of the workshops were presented by students providing leadership opportunities. Then we heard from Marks Day Public School. They hosted a family game, math night, and dance night at the end of the school year. The event fostered a positive mindset towards school and the school community, celebrating the learning that had occurred and welcomed parents, guardians into the school from its vast coverage area. Excuse me. Graduates returned to host some of the games. Then we heard from the Walden Public School. They presented a carousel night for parents, which included workshops on literacy, math, mental health, and French immersion. Parents registered in advance and upon arrival received a kit with resources for the 3 workshops they had selected. Parents had an opportunity to engage with board staff while children participated in activities in the gym led by staff from Walden Public School and students from Lively District Secondary School. Having workshops for parents only allowed for a deeper level of engagement about what parents can do at home to support their children's learning. A total of 16 parents reaching out grant applications were received and reviewed for the 2025-2026 school year, and these grants enable schools to work with school councils on projects that engage families in their children's learning. The goal is to increase parent engagement. 16 projects met the pro-grant criteria aligned to the board priorities. And our next Parent Involvement Committee will be on January 27th, excuse me, at 7 p.m. And the topic will be attendance and lates, what parents and guardians can do at home. The meetings are extremely good for parents, and they get an opportunity to work hands-on. So it was a good night, and I can't say enough about the work that Superintendent Mantle does to pull this off, because you know, it's beyond me, but anyways, you do an excellent job. Also, I'd like to make a comment. I haven't been the best at getting out to my schools in this term, and I promise to make that better next time. I think we've been pretty busy with committee stuff, and the chair keeps me busy, and but that's hardly an excuse. I miss my schools. So in the new year, I pledge to do more, to get out to my schools and visit my principals. Not my principal, I don't want to make it sound that way. Our principals, and generally to touch base. And lastly, I want to wish each and every one of my co-trustees, all of the staff that I work with on a regular basis, the superintendents, and soon to be retired Kathy, and all of you that support us in every way. Have a Merry Christmas, be safe on the roads, and I want to see you back here after the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee McCauley, for those fine words. Any further trustee remarks? I've got Trustee Clement and then Trustee Hunda.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I'll start it off by wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday for everybody. The season's coming quick, and I just want to encourage everybody who are going to get invited to their schools to go. I've already had my invites. I'll be helping with a pancake breakfast at A.B. Ellis and then their concert. We're having the winter solstice at AHS, and a band night. So it's going to be a busy time, and if you can make the schools and these concerts. Also, we're going to have the junior awards tomorrow. I'll be saying a few words there. So it's going to be a busy time. So everybody have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Clement. Trustee Hunda, and then we'll go to Trustee Cosmerly.
I'm going to try to talk really, really, really quickly. I just want to thank the staff, the students, and the parents, because they're the ones that get up and drive the kids to school early in the morning, pick them up late at night, because everyone's getting ready for their holiday celebrations. I want to thank all the staff that they send it. They email it to all the trustees, so we know what's going on in the different schools. I also want to thank the community, because of them and volunteers, many of our schools are going to be having Christmas banquets, Christmas summers. I would love to be able to attend every one that I've been invited for, but I'd come back 40 pounds heavier in the new year, I believe. Time doesn't allow it. But I just, all of these things take so much work and so much planning, and I think that sometimes we forget to say thank you to all those that work quietly in the background. I want to thank again our staff for, I've already attended one concert, which actually really helps you get in the mood, I have to tell you. And I think Trustee Gannett forgot to mention that LaSalle will be having their what is it, Scrooge? Christmas Carol performance next week. So if you get a chance, I think that would be, and quite typically she's Scrooge. And I think it just really does make the holidays, and I agree with my colleague that I'm missing my time in schools too. It's basically where I'm reminded why I want to do this job sometimes and the importance of it, but it's like the perspective of children and staff that make you think that you're actually making a difference. I also want to personally say farewell, good luck, and you better stay in touch to my colleague and my friend, Kathy Wachnick. Kathy and I have walked a long trail through many positions with the board. We go quite back, and I'll tell you, both personally and professionally, she has been such a treasure to me, and I want to thank her for that. And you make that husband of yours, make sure that you get some rest and some attention. I want to thank you, and I'm going to miss you. And again, happy holidays to everyone. Stay safe, and I hope everyone is happy and gets some rest, because we got a lot of year left to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Hunda. We'll go to Trustee Cosmerly and then Trustee Corbier-Addison online.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. First, I wanted to congratulate the board. We ended the year with a surplus last year, and none of us have really pointed that out. We ended up with $560,395 surplus, and we had thought that we were going to be in a deficit position. So well done, and that's great news. Secondly, Director Bourget already spoke to this, but I want to as well. I was honored to be one of 6 elves from our board to answer phones at last Saturday's CTV Lions Club Children's Telethon. I finally know how to say it right. And 3 other elves are sitting at this table right now. Rainbow Schools was the only public school board to man phones at this event. And as in the past, it was a lot of fun. I especially want to thank Principal Brenda Carr for all her hard work, coordinating and organizing the phone teams all day long. It's a lot of work, and she has to start getting things in place months beforehand. Her kindness is truly appreciated. And finally, as my peers have, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy holidays. Thank you to the school councils. Their staff do a lot to make the feasts and the concerts possible. I also want to thank our staff. So happy holidays to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmerly. Online, Trustee Corbier-Addison, please.
Thank you. Just wanted to share again my wishes for a safe and happy new year to all of our students and staff out there. Thank you for your hard work across the board that is helping our schools excel the way we are. And for things like the Christmas concerts, MSS is putting on an awards night on December 18th to share with the Manitoulin Student Aid Fund many generous donations from across Manitoulin for help with the students' educational goals. I also wanted to wish Kathleen Wachnick happy retirement along with her husband, and wish you all the best in your future, and don't sit idle. Keep going, and just enjoy life. We are going to miss your leadership in Spec Ed and your many years of service throughout the board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Corbier-Addison. Any further trustee remarks? I'm looking online. I think that's it. So thank you very much, trustees, for the remarks. I'll move on to my my remarks now. So once again, good evening, everyone. And before I start my remarks tonight, I do want to add to what Director Bourget's comments tonight. Take a few minutes to speak about my long-term colleague and friend, Superintendent Kathy Wachnick. Today, Kathy, I calculated that you and I have known each other for over 30 years, and we still like one another, I think, right? We first met as young teachers at an Ontario Public School Teachers Federation union meeting at the Jarrett Center over here about 30 years ago. And I believe you were a teacher at Robert Jack at that time, and I was a teacher at Pinecrest. Now, I know both of these schools are now closed, and I don't think the fact that we both taught there made it happen, but I can't be certain about that. So over the years, I watched Kathy's career blossom as she took on more and more positions of added responsibility, including vice principal, principal, and finally superintendent of special education. And during those years, we had many opportunities to interact both personally and on a professional level. Some of them which can be shared here, many of them which can't. And I remember distinctly that when we were both principals, Kathy used to say, well, if Pharaoh hasn't been fired yet, I'm probably good. So all joking aside, Kathy's strength has always been her system thinking, her ability to speak the truth to power, and when decisions were heading in a difficult path. So as chair of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank you on behalf of all of us for your dedication and your years of service to the Rainbow District School Board. Personally, I want to wish you, Jim, Carter, and Cindy all the best, and wish you many, many, many years of happy retirement. You've done great work here, my friend. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So as the festive season is upon us, we embark on a very merry time of year at Rainbow Schools. Staff and students are spreading kindness and holiday cheer in a number of ways. A list of festive events have been posted on the board website. And in keeping with kindness, the Rainbow District School Board is once again participating in one of my favorite activities, the Egerberton Kids Helping Kid Food Drive. Staff and students have been working together to collect non-perishable food items and monetary donations to assist area food banks. I would like to thank Vice Principal Brad Smith and Andrew Kendall for leading this campaign on behalf of Rainbow Schools. And Metro is bringing nutrition home for the holidays. Students at Lansdowne Public School and Princess Anne Public School will receive breakfast kits of non-perishable food items just before the winter break. The kits will be delivered to both schools next week, and we want to send a sincere thank you to Metro. And this month, Rainbow School Boards invite staff and students to host a green gathering, a shared meal where there is just enough food for everyone with no waste or minimal garbage. And 300 turkeys will be distributed to 16 Rainbow schools this Thursday, December the 11th. The Turkeys for Families initiative was launched in 2019 thanks to the kindness of Matt Stillwell of Matt's Plumbing Limited. The program has since expanded with generosity of community partners. We thank Matt's Plumbing and the community for making the festive season brighter. And Manitoulin Secondary School will host its annual awards night on Thursday, December 18th at 7 p.m. More than $70,000 in awards will be presented to students. We commend the community of Manitoulin for its continuous generosity and support. And LaSalle Secondary School will proudly present a Christmas carol, which Trustee Hunden mentioned, next week. Public performances will take place on Wednesday, December the 17th and Thursday, December 18th at 7:30 p.m. at LaSalle Secondary School. At LaSalle Secondary School Black Box Theater. Do you have a child starting school next fall? Elementary schools in Sudbury, Espanola, and Manitoulin Island will be hosting kindergarten information nights for families on Wednesday, January 14th at 5:30 for English programs, and on Thursday, January 15th at 5:30 for schools offering French immersion and dual-track schools offering both English and French immersion. All parents and guardians and children are welcome. And we also have some upcoming secondary information nights, including Sudbury Secondary School on Thursday, December 11th at 6 p.m., Chelmsford Valley District Composite School on Tuesday, January 13th at 6 p.m., Llewellyn Park on Wednesday, January 14th at 6:30 p.m. for grade 6 and 7, and 7 p.m. for grade 8s, and Lockerbie Composite School on Thursday, January 15th at 6:45 p.m. Please mark your calendar and plan to attend. And a friendly reminder that winter break will soon be upon us. Schools will be closed from December 22nd to January 2nd. Schools will reopen on Monday, January the 5th. And once again, on behalf of all of the Board of Trustees, I want to extend my wishes to staff, students, families, and community partners. Have a safe and happy holiday season. Merry Christmas to everyone. We look forward to working together in 2026. Thank you all, and that concludes my remarks for this evening. And that brings us to the last bit of our agenda. Section G is information and proposals. We have reports from officials and staff. We have the Accessibility Planning Committees from November 25th, as well as the PIC Involvement Committee meetings from May 13th, and the Audit Committee meetings from September 29th, and the PIC Committee meetings from October 14th. And those are all the official meetings. There are no tenders or requests for proposals. And number 3, the non-staff communication, there's a letter dated December 2nd, 2025 to the Minister of Education, signed by me on behalf of the trustees. And future meetings, Student Senate will meet on January 5th at 5:30. Special Education Advisory Committee, January, I believe it's 8th, or is it 7th? 7th at 12 p.m. And board meeting, our next board meeting is January 20th, 2026 at 5 p.m. And finally, as Trustee McCauley mentioned, the Parent Involvement Committee is January 27th at 7 p.m. And having no further business tonight, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. It's moved by Trustee Hunda. We are now adjourned at 6:55 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and Merry Christmas, one and all.